Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Thursday, July 28th. And the markets look actually quite bullish now because of that sharp move up there. And obviously that was due to the Fed's interest rates basis point move. And I think that it's probably a good idea to have a look at the US dollar index here for a moment, because let's just go back to the monthly chart for the US dollar, shall we? Because okay, so if we think about this for a moment, we've got this is a monthly chart. We've got wave 1 and 2 here, and then wave 3 here, and ABC for wave 4 and up for wave 5. So I've just been trying to confirm that particular top in place at the moment, and it does appear that this wave 5 can be sitting here now, because I have an impulse wave down here now for this. So you know, while this has been moving to the upside here, we've seen the equity market and Bitcoin move to the downside. But if this is going to turn now, based on them, you know, putting up rates and so on, if this is going to move down, let's just say that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, it could be the top. I won't go into it. Could be the top of another move over here and come much further down. Or the two possibilities are that it has an ABC correction and then moves up at that point. So it's either continue to move down, or it'll have another move to the upside based on those 5 waves there. So it depends on how you look at the bigger picture, but I won't go into that now. But they're the two options. But for the short term, if that is a top, we'll see this in 3 waves at least. So we'll see it come back to the 90 sort of area here in due course. So while this is coming down, that means the equity markets can push to the upside, and also Bitcoin can be in that, because Bitcoin is being treated like a tech stock, so that can be in there on that. So I think that's a really good sort of case. So picking it up from this wave 4 here, based on the daily chart, and we'll just have a look at this to the upside. So from that wave 4 that I mentioned as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 up here for this is top here. And I was looking at a few different ways that we could count this here. You know, I like to think outside of the box a little bit. So looking at this down here now, we've put a little bit of work into this in terms of trying to sort of understand it. And, you know, I've made a bit of an effort to look at every single little wave structure within here. And I've got from wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here for 1, then the A, the B and the C wave here. And now we're pushing down. So this push down here, you know, may, you know, we'll probably see, I haven't pulled that bit apart, but it'll be something like this anyway, you know. So we'll probably see this sort of thing occur next in this market. So that can push the equity market up, the Nasdaq, and so on, and it is displaying it in that way, and that will also, this spike is pushed the crypto up in that space. So it's just nice to see how things can push and pull off each other in the bigger picture to a point. Obviously there's a lot more to it than that, and some of it's beyond my understanding, but that there, what we've just looked at, you know, makes it quite simple. Dollar go down, Bitcoin go up, so to speak, you know. So, you know, in this Bitcoin here, we can count this down from the top as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave down here, just like the S&P 500. Now, with the S&P 500 and the NASI and things, I can say we've got an ABC down here, and that could be the end of it, right? And we can just go up and make new highs, so that's possible. But also, too, we can use all of this here as just one leg, and then another leg over here for the B wave, and then down for the C wave at that point. But either way, it's good, you know, it's very sort of helpful like that. If I have a look at, just want to have a look at, well, this is total here. And one of the good things here, let's just just want to get the length of this here roughly. So that's the length of wave C there, and we take this over here and we put it on the top of wave 5, and we come down to here. We can see that wave A is actually longer than wave C. So that means that this here cannot, at this stage, this cannot be wave 3. So it makes a nice ABC of this pattern with equality between wave A and wave C. So if wave C was longer, it looks longer because it's skinnier, then we could look at this as being a wave 3 at this point, but that's not the case. So that's sort of interesting within itself. And it's got the same sort of low here as the others, but I wanted to have a look at this is the CME futures here. So this also has got a nice ABC pattern down here, and also the low down here is a little bit different in terms of the other market. So you can see how this has just got 3 swings here. So we could look at this here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave going up here. We could look at it as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. There's different ways to look at that. Let's just go into the 15-minute chart and just have a little look at this here. Just wanted to have a bit more of a look at, not so much that. Yeah, see that this was the low over here in Bitcoin, but not in the futures market. Still gives me, so I mean, you'd have to treat that as an ABC pattern here, really, whichever way you look at it in the futures market. So we could look at Bitcoin in the same way as well, 1 and 2 here, but it has come, I know with the Ethereum and Bitcoin, they've come quite close to their lows, their previous lows over here. The other thing I find interesting about this particular little move in here is very close to Ethereum, where we have, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but the move down here in the futures market is kind of pretty simple in a way. We could probably just put that down a few degrees to, I'll just pop it in here for this. Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, an ABC at this point. We still need to, this move here is not 5 waves yet moving to the upside, so we could still come down at this point, but it has a nice ABC pattern here, because we can count it as wave 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, or even 3 to that point, because we did a bit of work on this yesterday, not the futures market, but this, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it makes a nice ABC, because Bitcoin doesn't have that nice ABC. Ethereum does. Just while we're here as well, we should really just check, where am I going here? So we'll go back to the weekly chart here. Weekly. I just want to have a look at the volume, but not so much on that, but on total. So with total here, we haven't really, through all this, when the market comes down and goes sideways on lower volume, it's normally telling us that it's a corrective pattern. So we could still certainly be in a corrective pattern. We just may go higher, that's all. We've got nice support here, and we've seen some volume come in here now, isn't it? So we'll just continue to have a look at this. This volume bar was a little bit more than that one, and this one was a little bit more than that one. So we have seen increasing volume slightly here, not much, but yeah, so it's sort of okay-ish to a point. We'll just keep an eye on that. We don't want it going up on lower volume, and we'll keep an eye on that in the daily chart during the week. So I'll put that away for a second. So just to come back here, there's a very good case to have an ABC pattern here, because we know that this is not a third wave in relation to total at the moment. So the next question is, well, do we have an ABC and we have a low in here and we're going to make, go to Mars? or do we or do we move up in a correctional pattern? We're going through the same thing with the US equities as well. It's the same thing. They've had the lows on this 17th of June here was basically the low within the equity. So all of the tech stocks have got this same pattern here as well. I mean, there's differences. Apple has got more of an impulse wave going to the upside. This is more like Amazon. And there's quite a few others like this as well. Some are a little bit warped, like Microsoft and things. I'm not saying Microsoft is warped, but just the pattern itself is not that clear. But most of them are doing much the same sort of thing here. So one of the other points too that I want to make is that is with the S&P 500. With the S&P 500 here, if we on the 4,000, if we can get, because the S&P and the Nasdaq and the Bitcoin will all be moving together, so we can look around. It's not it's not out of the question. So if we can find a nice support on the 4,000 there, that's going to help the upside case. So it's just something to look out for. So what we're looking for, we've got the arrival, the reaction, and we're going in this leg here, and in this leg here we're looking for 5 waves, and so Bitcoin and Ethereum and the S&P 500 are about up to wave 3 here. They still need 4 and 5 to go up, and then we'll need a correction to pull back. So we need this move up here corrected. But if the S&P can sit on its level over here for this, with this classic trading levels pattern, our basic trade setup, well, then that's going to be very helpful. That's going to tell us that, well, we are going to be going up further. But the bottom line is we're not there yet. We've got the arrival, the reaction, and the first high above the level. We're still not finished with that move to the upside, and I won't go into that in this video. But this is the same kind of thing with Ethereum and Bitcoin and so on. So we need that 5 waves up there to finish, and then we need to pull back, and then we need to have a look at going long on that top or the second top here. So it's just another little thing in the marketplace that we can check out. And yeah, so I mean, if I just walking around the block here a little bit. So with Ethereum here, for example, it counts probably better as an A wave up to here than an ABC here, but we could look at it as wave 1 here and 2 over here. Now, wave 2. Now, if we're going to do that, well, then we could look at this move here, right, going up here as a third wave here, pulling back to the 38.2% retracement level there. I'm just shooting the breeze here, so, just ideas. And then we'll go for wave 5 up here. So wave 5 up here is not finished yet. We can see we've got a strong third wave there. There's going to be problems around the top. It's normally the third wave that comes around the top anyway. So we'll see this here as 1 and 2 in here somewhere. We'll have a look at this in a moment. But wave 3 and 4, there's always some type of correction across, trying to get through for the old highs, and then a push up for wave up here. So I'm thinking this is just one example of things that we need to be mindful of, because while the S&P is doing its thing across the 4,000, Ethereum here will be doing its thing across the 15 here. So we should see, after this 5 waves here, we should see a 50-60% retracement level, maybe testing this, maybe not going to here, somewhere in here, testing it, and then we need to see if it's going to go up at that point. And at that point there, we can look at it like this, because if we look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, well, then we may need to have a look at this right from the low here, take that up to this high here, and then we'll need to look at the 50-60% over here with that. So that means that we could end up coming back down here, not having this up here as 1 and 2 and going up further, but having this here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then going up from that point. So the S&P 500 is a bit like this too. We could look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're counting 5 waves up in Apple in the same instance, So when we look at Apple here, this is one of the ones that have moved the most. So we've got this. You could count this up in different ways here. I'm not going to get into that, but it's basically, we can count it as an impulse wave to the upside. So that would have an ABC back here again, if that was going to be the case, So yeah, so that's possible, but we could also look at it as moving up here for wave 1 and coming back for wave 2 at this point. I also, while we're here with this one, I want to have a look at this correction here, because the Bitcoin correction, as we talked about yesterday, which we'll talk about again today as well, but this one here was a little bit like the futures market in a way, you know. So we could look at this one here as the A wave here, the B wave over here, and the C wave down here. It's a pretty clear movement on that. In fact, this could probably, oh no, that's okay, 1 2 3 4 5, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. You could probably work it like that, and then 1 2 3 4 and 5, and 1 2 extending out here. So it's pretty sort of clear. But when we come to Bitcoin, it's a bit tricky to count down here. But when we counted down here yesterday, we said it was more likely to come further down, but if it was going to go up, it would go up directly on that low there, and it did, you know. Not that I would have expected that, but we counted it down on the 10 tick chart and said, well, it has to turn right here or it's not going to turn at all. So that was interesting to see that. But anyway, from this point here, if we can look at this here, we should try to count that up there a little bit. So let's just have a bit of a look at that. I'm just trying to see what I've got here on the tick charts here. Okay, well, this will do the trick, I think. Let's just get these over here, and we'll just get an idea of where we are with these, with this move to the upside. I think it's kind of good to count things together in a way, and you can see how I do it and how you do it. And you know, sometimes when you're doing the counting and things, you need to you know, go back over them and double check and do this and do that. So we'll just bring all of these in, because we'll need these guys. We can bring these over to here. They can go there. We'll need the 2 over here somewhere. So we can go in here and go, well, that's probably the third, four, that's 1 2 3 4 5 here. So really we've got to look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So I probably should do it 1 degree smaller, but I'm just going to use the blue ones here. But it should be a green one. Okay, I can do these later. I could go up to that point too. That's another way to count it, but I'll just look at it like this here for the moment, because I see I could go 1 2 3 4 5, but I've got overlap here, so that's actually not going to work. And then this will need to go here for that. And then we're on the inside here of this, so okay. So what I normally do with these things, I just try to have a quick look. I do a scan first, do a brain scan with, and see what I can recognize. And the first thing that I recognize, obviously this thing here stood out. Obviously that was, you know, some event. But what I try to look for is something that I can recognize. It could be a wave 4 or wave 2 or wave 1, 2 or 3. But in this one here, this was quite strong here. So straight away I look towards that move there, and then I start building my counter out from that. So then I would look at this and go, okay, that's probably 1 2 3 4 here, and then 1 2 3 4 5 up here. So all that leg there, that's probably all the same leg there. Then I'll sort of check, and I'll check the top here or some other thing, and I'll go 1 2, and then we'll go 1 2 3 4 5 for third, fourth, and fifth. So that kind of suits at that point. Does that need to go up there? So then we've got this as 1 and 2 here. So this, what's this here? Let's just double check on this. Can we go 1 2 3 4 and 5 there? That spike makes it a little bit tricky. So what I do when I can't sort of figure it out properly, I'll put wave 3 there and wave 4 here, and then I'll put wave 5 here for this one, and then wave 4 here, and then I'll check with Bitcoin, and we can put this up here for this. So that would still leave us with, we need a wave 4 to come into play, And then I kind of gravitate to the closest largest number, and that's 16, so that would be a good starting point. And then I would look at, well, if that's a wave 4, then that's a wave 2, then I'd look at this back here like this. So it's possible that it may come down to the 38.2% at that point, and then head up here, so we can go to here. Now also in this area here, this is actually more important, this number here, 1650. It's actually a medium level. So I'm just going to put that in. So it's really about this number. But 16 is important, and so is 17. They tend to create tops and bottoms, but really it's the 1650 where everything plays out. So it's just trading level stuff. So I won't go into all of that, but that's kind of where we are at the moment with this here. So that would just bridge us a new high. Now what we've got to figure out is that, are we going to get a 1-2 back here? Or do we call this, as I mentioned before, we look at all of this as wave 5 and 5 waves to the top there. So as a trader and whatever, then we'll need to work out, once that high's in place here, if we actually are we coming back for a 50-60% retracement level or thereabouts? I mean, I'll put that in here and put this wave 2 here. Are we going to do that? Or are we going to be pulling back for something bigger in this regard? And in this case here, we could look at this as the A wave here, and then a B wave over here, and a C wave down here, so to speak. We're going to get one or the other, and this is what we're trying to work out with the S&P 500 as well. So at least you know where we are. So you know that it's going to go higher. You know that it's going to either pull back to here and then go up, or it's going to come down to here, pull back up to here, and then come down to here, and then move up at that point. It'd be something like that, you know, one or the two. This is what we're working out with the S&P at this point. So it gives us a little bit of clarity. But you know, the takeaway here is that this, from the top here, we've got a nice clean 5-wave structure here. So on the Bitcoin, we don't have this as the high here. This is very much like the futures market of Bitcoin, but yeah, so it does give us a reasonable, nice ABC pattern down here. We also talked about that yesterday. And then over to Bitcoin here, there are many ways you could label this here. In a way, I don't think it's actually that important at the moment. It's not like we've got a nice impulse wave to the upside. We could look at this as wave 1 over here with wave 2 here. We could also look at wave 1 here with wave 2 here, and wave 1 here and 2 here and 1 here and 2 here. You know, I could go another degree higher in all this and put this wave 1 over here, but I kind of know that what my thinking is here is that when we look at Apple, for example, we can look from the top up here, we can look down as an A and a B and a C wave here and have a low in place, and we can just go straight up from that point. So Bitcoin and other stocks could do that as well. But I don't want to get everybody excited, because I don't know if that's true or not at this point, because all of this leg here just may be one side of this ABC can just be one leg, and then we go back for another leg, and we might go to the 78.6 in this market, and then have another leg down here first. So I don't know if we go straight up here or we go in this dog leg here. And there's a good case for this dog leg here. There's a reasonable case for going straight up there as well. There are stocks that, like Berkshire and Hathaway, that have got 5 waves down here, so they should have 3 waves back and then go down. So there's a case, you know, throughout the markets for sort of both cases. So I think it's only fair to, you know, take a balanced view on all of this and think about moving up in a corrective way so far. So the other point, yeah, so we've got this wave A down here, the 17th of June or whatever it is, the same as Bitcoin in that, or very close to Bitcoin. So we're looking at this as the A wave, and then a B wave and a C wave here. So that's what we're kind of thinking of. So we're coming up into the A wave here, you know what I mean? I mean, it could be wave 1 too, but the A wave here for this. So that means that if that's the case, then we need to be coming up into the A wave here for this. Now, how far will it get us? Will this be wave 1 here that we just discussed, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the A wave? and then a B wave over here, because don't forget the 50-60% retracement level is still up here. We still got to get somewhere up there if it's going to be another leg, you know what I mean, as a B wave and then a C wave up there. Obviously, you know, we can get boosts like this because really it's such a, you know, the volume in this market is really quite small still, you know, and big fish can create waves, and yeah, so things can move quite quickly. But you know, the ABC correction we got from the top to the bottom here, we need to be back up here. Now with Apple's already up here, but most of the other stocks are still down here for all of that, you know. So if we look at Amazon, for example, you see all this sort of wavy stuff here. Well, this is exactly the same as Bitcoin, isn't it? And it's got to get its ass up to here somewhere. It could also have a low in here as well. There's a good case for an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. A bit of a truncated fifth wave, the same truncated sort of fifth wave there is on Tesla as well. So we could look at this in a bullish case. We could look for it as a corrective wave. See the stochastics here wants to push it up further. So they're all doing the same thing in a way. There's some that have moved along further than others. So we could say this is more like an Amazon sort of stock here at the moment. But the thing with the stocks that are following, there's leaders and followers, and they don't always have to be a follower. They can be a leader too at certain times. But the following stocks tend not to range as much, but they can also catch up quite quickly as well. So you think, oh no, they're not moving or anything, and you turn your head and go to the toilet and you come back and it's all over, it's gone, you know. So that's day trading for you. But I'm just saying they can catch up, you know, they can be lagging and catch up. So so yeah, looking at this as some sort of A wave up here. And will we get 5 waves up here? I mean, will we get even 5 waves coming up in this first little leg here? Because this first leg here is still in 3 waves. It might be that this is an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave coming back down here and then moving up. You know, it could also be that this is an A, B, C to this point here. Doesn't really count down as a decent 5 waves, so we'll be definitely looking to come up in that. But we don't have a clear 5 waves in the opposite direction yet. But that's what we're looking at this point. So I don't know what I've got on. I'm just going to have a bit of a look on all my charts as I go through here. This is just a 10K tick chart. So we still need that wave 1 up there. So we know that we need this 4, 5. This could be counted as a WXY, as I mentioned yesterday as well. But I kind of like it as an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 3 to here, 4 and 5 here. That sort of works for me as well. This was the high on Ethereum and the futures market, so it makes it a little bit tricky in here. But it does not count as 5 waves here. But we could still have an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here based on that. That's still doable. One of the things here is with the trading levels, the 23 here, that's the top of group 1 of 20,000. So if we get a nice support on that, then we'll go up higher at that point. But that's going to take a while anyway, because we'll still need this here. If we do get 5 waves up here, then we'll, and hopefully not make it, if we don't make a top here, that's going to be great, because what that means is that means that will be wave 2. You know, Ethereum's playing above here, the S&P is playing above the previous high, but Bitcoin's not. So that's good. If it does not take out this top here, and we get 5 waves here, that means we'll get another 5 waves. So we will have wave 3 at that point. So that I didn't realize that, but I just working on the hop. So that's a good realization. So it does appear that we could be looking at something like this here, but we still need those 5 waves there. It looks good because we've got that nice strong 3rd wave there at that point. Just going to go. Just going to go to the 5 tick. Nothing happening there. Just want to see what I've done and updated, and nothing on the 2. I'm always clearing things off and putting things back. Okay, so really we need to go to 100. Okay, I've got that as 1 and 2 there, so that's just another way to look at it, in fact. But we need to count this up here. We need to do our job at this point, so I'll have to use this one at this point. Yeah, and then we'll use that as wave 1 up there. That makes more sense at that point. And then we'll have 3, 4 up there and so on. So I think this is sort of where we're heading, which is fantastic. Rightio. So sorry to burn up so much of your time, but we'll just plonk these over here, and we'll need these little dudes. Might need these too, I think, just to make sure, to be sure. And then we could use these as the ABC pullback, which would be good for wave 2, because we want to go long above that B wave there. So yeah, it was interesting yesterday, wasn't it? Because we got right down to the tick chart. We pulled all this apart in here, and we said that this looks bearish to me, and it looks like we'll have a rally and come down. But if it was going to go up, it has to go up right from that point there. So that was sort of funny when I saw that this morning. Yeah, so let's tune in. See here, we could probably go, this is slightly different. We could go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could put that there as 1 and 2. I don't know if that's correct. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could put that here and here. So this is a slightly different count, maybe, I think. And wave 3 is going to be up here somewhere in wave 4. So that's probably looks impulsive at that point. Let's just check on this. Let's see what we got inside of this. So we'll take it from there to, I should really include that. Does that give me enough though? So once again here, slightly, you'll see that strong move in here. So that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. That could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there, even 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that travels higher at that point, but wave 3 is still the longest. Where does it leave me on this one here though? That would be, that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, but then I've got that. How's that finished off there? Do we need to look at that in some particular way? Do we need to look at that as 1 and 2? But it just seems a bit small compared to everything else. But that's definitely part of that. Is that a truncated fifth wave? Looks like a high, splitting hairs. Okay. Or is that tucked in there? Well, we can just work back and try to figure it out a bit. We got that high there as well, so that could be handy. So it's probably there and there. And we know that we can put that 5 here. It's definitely a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? Then we noted this one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we can put that there, that there, that there, that there. Where does that leave us then? That leaves us with a mess down here. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if this was actually 1, 2, 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here, then 1 and 2. So all of this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But that would make wave 3 a little bit short compared to the others. So that's not really going to work. Can we go back the other way in some way? Can we go 1, 2, and look at that as 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave here, and the fourth here. Can I look at that as 1 and 2? That is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's that. Okay, I'll need to ponder that a bit further, but I think this is where we are here anyway. So that will be, I mean, across the 23, we should see a classic trading levels pattern. So we can take this low and this, oh, still that's the high there, isn't it? Still, so maybe we're not done yet with that. Still looks, that looks corrective and that looks impulsive. So maybe we still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So long as it stays above here, this can push up here a bit higher. It's normally like 5 waves, but that should be the top at that point. If this comes down here, then you know that it's a wave 4, okay? But yeah, I'm not too sure. Let's just check the next session. It doesn't really matter anyway, because what will happen, I don't want to burn up too much of your time. If I can figure it out quickly, then that's fine. But if I can't, well, then I'll need to spend more time on it. But the thing is that we can see in simple terms that this is some sort of third wave here. I don't think it's finished yet. I think we've still got more to go up here with it. So in a nutshell, we've got 1 and 2 here. We've got some sort of third wave that will come up here, one sort of fourth wave here. So don't do any trading in amongst all this top, because there's a beginning, a middle and an end of a trend. And then we're going to get this ABC pattern that's going to come into play here. So this means that once we've got this, that means this will tell us that we're going to go higher at this point. Being on top of group 1, which is the 3, and pulling back into this point. Now it could come back down here into a bigger ABC, but if it does this, then you'll be on our way at that point for that. Yeah, we don't really want it taking out the top either. That's going to like that. While it stays under here, while it stays under that top, we'll have an ABC like this. If it breaches the top there and hits 25 for some reason, well, then we can have a bigger ABC over here. But as long as it stays under that high there, and that doesn't have to be wave 1 and wave 2 here either. I'm just trying to think outside the box and look at everything and then break it down. But yeah, we don't have fourth waves here yet. I think that's the best count for 1 and 2 there and 1 and 2 there. I've just lost the plot in here. Sometimes things are staring you in the face and you just can't get them. I mean, maybe that's also up here as wave 1 and 2 in here. Maybe that is on that low here as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. And then that helps that out a bit. Then that can come back to... That can come back. It still doesn't fit though, does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and that still doesn't fit up this point. Still leaves us with another extra wave there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, still one more, still out one. Anyway, I'll find it. But anyway, this is not finished, so we need for this to finish off and then pull back. I shouldn't make the video any longer than this. All right, well, anyway, that was a good chat looking at everything, isn't it? So just to recap everything, is we want the S&P 500 to find support on the 4,000. We need these to top out. It would be fantastic if Bitcoin does not take out the top here and creates 5 waves in here, because if it creates 5 waves in here, then we'll know that we're going to get a pullback and go higher at that point. And if we're going to go higher here, that means that we're going to go for wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then wave 5 up here further. So we'll be up at the 26,000, 20, well, anywhere from 26, probably even further up actually, depending on how long these structures are. But that's going to be fantastic up here. And this could really zoom along here as well, by the way. I mean, now that folks can see that there. So we'll keep an eye on the US dollar and the S&P 500 and the other markets, and let's see how we go. But at the end of the day, it's looking very bullish. Okay, cheers.